As my first residual check in my previous company was $24, right? And I was running a consulting company. I just sold one of my consulting firms, and I remember my wife laughing like, your first residual check is $24, and I was so excited. She says, "Why are you excited?" She says, I said I was excited because I've gotten I went to school for engineering, I went and got an executive MBA, and I've never made a residual income dollar in my life. And I said, and so that 24, I said, if I can pay a car payment, right? Anybody like, just like I remember my previous company, I paid a car payment, then I paid a mortgage. And then when I began to pay all of my bills, what it taught me was, it wasn't about that moment. It was about the moment when the money was not going to stop. And I have friends that were in many companies. I have nothing against different companies. Most of you know I've only done one other direct sales company, but why the residuals made sense because I'm a analytical nut, right? So I said, well, residual has to be something that lasts after I do it one time. And many times if I sell a product, any store, any business, if you have a product and you sell that product, you can make income, but the residual only is dictated by if my team does a behavior at the end of every month. So if just from the numbers, I said, well, I don't want to continue to build something, and so I had friends with great products over the last 20 years that I have supported, but I got into energy because at the time I was at Constellation Energy in Baltimore. A good friend of mine who was a CEO back then, who was on Calvin Butler, who is now CEO for Exelon, he started talking to me about energy. He says, Julius, you don't understand the power of this industry. He says, it was $1 trillion industry years ago. And when I began to understand that one customer, you're going to put in one customer, and our goal, Michael Falquest's goal is really simple. He says, oh, he wants to keep a customer for a decade or more. And when I started looking at that, the power of it is incredible. And so today I sponsored a young man in my business, and we were talking. I said, look, I respect you. You've been in direct sales for 20 years. You've been but the thing is that if time was really money, the 20 years you've been in, we wouldn't still be talking because if the 10 years you work your job, your 20 years you don't work your job, if time was money, we all be financially independent. It is about what we do, the timing of it, and the company we do it with. And that is what I want you to understand. This is a very special moment in time when there is a tsunami of things aligned. AI data centers and energy prices are scaling at levels we've never seen. This is going to happen. We can't stop it. We have solutions that are guaranteed for 10 plus years. And now the only skill you need to learn, right? Let's talk about the skill. The skill is really education. All my teachers, I'll take a teacher in my team in a minute because there's nothing, I can't sell somebody something that's free. So what am I dealing with? I'm dealing with educating them. And so, I'll jump in with some examples. And Kirk, I'll let you kick off. You have slides, right? So you're going to kick off slides. So, so the thing is that I'm going to kick off with this today, and I am going to do a full training on this because so many of you are asking. You guys know I created a program called Save and Serve, and this is for those of you who want to talk to nonprofits and churches. Okay. Take notes on this. I will have a training on it. We will do it. But as you're talking to people, you're going to meet people that are with nonprofits and youth programs and churches, and you're going to talk to people that are supportive, have a passion for helping other people. And all you're going to say is, "Hey, would your organization like me to set up a program that will help you fundraise every month?" And it won't cost your members anything. You don't have to sell any more popcorn. You don't have to sell any more pizzas. We just want to help your members save. And by saving, they're going to serve the organization and serve the people you help. And all you're going to do is they're going to show them the presentation. You're going to sign them up as the organization as the energy advisor. And then you're going to put together a flyer or something that help the organization. The people in the organization know how to help by saving money. If they save money, they're going to be given a donation to the organization every single month for as long as they pay electric bill. So they're going to help the church, the youth program every month they pay their bill, and it won't cost them any additional money. And so I'm going to do a full training on it. I think it's powerful. It'll allow you to get to leaders that have influence and relationship, and it's been just an incredible way to meet great leaders inside of organizations that are helping thousands of people. And imagine having in your business one organization with 1,000 members, and 500 of them join. And so as you're talking to people, ask them what organizations they support and what things they're a part of, because that could be a huge benefit for you. And so just wanted to share that. And Big Kirk, you want me to share slides, or you want me to get it, or you got it?
I got it, my friend. I was waiting for you to finish up. Here we go. Oh, you gotta give me permission, I guess.
I host share settings.
Okay,
All
I got it.
right, you got
I
it.
got it. Can you see it? Can you see it?
Do. Yep, I can. We are good to go.
All right.
Good evening.
All right. Well, Kirk, I got to
All
play
right.
my intro song again, man. Like everybody's here now. I waited all day to give you this.
Let's
I just
do it.
played the first part. All right. Here you go. This is for Big Kirk. All right. That's it. Let's do it, Kirk. Back to Kirk Aran, regional partner. Guys, we're here for customer gathering training because customers build wealth and allow us to build a business. It just takes some new skills. And so, no matter if you have a GED or a PhD, there are skills that it takes to build and help people. And that's communication skills, that's a desire in your heart, and that's a smile on your face, because there are millions of people that need our help with autosave community solar. And we are going to walk up to somebody's house and put a free battery on their home, and they're going to save for 15 years. And so learning how to communicate that is a skill. And so if you've been talking to people and they've been telling you no, tonight we're going to help you groom and build some of those skills, because there are millions of people that need you. And so I get to hand it off to my sponsor, my friend, and just truly my brother, who has the biggest heart in the world. But most of you may not know, he is the silent assassin when it comes to recruiting and gathering customers. I'm telling you guys, he is where he is in the business because he literally follows up better than anybody I have ever met. So turn it over to none other than regional partner Kirk Aran. Kirk, what's up, buddy?
All right, Julius, let me know if I start sounding like gargly. We have a storm coming through and my internet might go bad. So,
I
good
got
evening,
you.
everybody. My name is Kirk Haran. I am excited to be here. Listen, Julius and I made a decision that customer gathering training once a week is going to help build the repetition. Back to the basics is what we're calling it. We have a very compelling offer. No other company offers this lineup, which is electricity, autosave, smart thermostats, home batteries, and community solar. Everything we offer is free and it saves people money. So let's get right into it. So you become a new energy advisor. Oops, you can become a new energy advisor. The first thing you need to do is get energy certified. I recommend you do all of the certifications, even if you don't live in Maryland or you don't live in Illinois or you don't live in Connecticut, because once you understand this business, understand that it is going to go where it wants to go when it wants to go there. So I was in the Coast Guard, and our motto was Semper Paratus, always ready. So we want you to always be ready. So you get certified, you do your background check. The first thing you do, if you live in a market where you can be your own customer, become your own first customer. In some markets, you've already gotten a return on your investment. A market like Texas, some markets, you can get your return with two or three customers. So make a short list of people you know, love, trust, and ask them to help support your new business. So we're going to talk about this as we go through, because Julius and I have plenty of stories to talk about. But the first one I'll start off with is when I got into this industry brand new. One of the first people I called was my father-in-law, Ivan. This man would take a step in front of a bus for me. I called him very timid with lack of confidence, and I said, "Hey, Ivan, how are you?" He said, "Good, how are you?" I said, "Listen, I just started in this energy thing." He goes, "Yup." I said, "I wonder if you would do me a favor and be my customer." He goes, "Nope. I've been with National Grid my whole life and I'm staying with them." And I was like taken back, like, he said no. I'm like, "Oh, this isn't going to be as easy as I thought." So I hung up the phone and I looked at my wife and I said, "Your father doesn't trust me." And that wasn't the case. The bottom line is he didn't understand, why is Kirk asking me to be his electricity customer? He knew nothing about deregulation, that he had a choice. So I let it go, and about a year later, he became my customer, or he became a customer. He offered to be my customer, and I laughed at him. I said, Ivan, I don't need any more customers. And at that point, I had enrolled my wife's sister. I say, you should be your daughter's customer. And he signed up with my sister-in-law. So, you're going to have these challenges. I let it go. Don't make it your mission to change somebody's mind. Just keep moving and follow up later. Very important, okay? Um, when you get paid, you prove that it works. I've had many new people come into the business.
Yeah, well, no,
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Where's
it.
my comrades here? Jules, we need backup here, brother.
I got you.
Yeah. So, many people, brand new EAs, before they get any kind of confidence, they actually wait for their first paycheck. And, it's kind of too bad because you're letting a whole week go by in some cases. But I understand people want to make sure it works, and that's okay. But I can tell you the people that are here have already went through all that process. So buy into our belief until you have your belief. And then you have your story to tell prospective customers and energy advisors. Everyone has a story. And it could be as simple as, hey Ivan, listen, I want to make sure I have enough money to put the kids through college. I started this side business to generate some extra income. Would you do me a favor and support me? And he's probably going to do it if I put it in those words. So think about what you say before you even approach somebody as your customer. Be prepared. As you building this business, the key to you making money is to promote through the ranks. Whether it takes you 30 days or a year, when you have 20 team customer points, you will at least earn this $100. If you do it in less than 30 days, you'll hit a $200 upfront bonus, accelerated bonus. So, I personally think everybody should be able to hit this. Julius, you want to maybe make Monty a co-host so he can let people in so we can focus on this maybe. Um, you know, 5 personal customers. Everybody should know that. They should plan on getting 5 customers right out of the gate because we want you to promote through the ranks as quickly as you can. And then as you go through the ranks, look here, 5 personal customers for regional energy advisor, 6 for senior energy advisor, 8 personal customer points for director. But when you look over here to team customers, this is about building a team. It's going to be a lot harder for you to go out and get 200 personal customers yourself or 500. There's people that do that. God bless them. But, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go out and grab a handful of customers and help other people do the same thing. If you hit these accelerated bonuses, 30 days, 90 days, 120 days, it's an additional $1,700 in upfront money while you're getting paid for the customer gathering bonuses as well. And your one level overrides on your team. So there's significant money to be made there. So some of the scripts we use, Julius, you want to chime in on this? You want to go through?
Yeah, and so we're going to go over some scripts, but I want to say this is that it's really important that even with the scripts, that you just be prepared. You go over them, you use people know your personality. So if you go to your mom, right, or you go to somebody and you start talking like a robot, I'm letting you know that they're going to sit there like, what is going on with you, right? And they're going to maybe even laugh. So make sure you stay who you are in the process. I find that, so the script is a guide, but, a method, hey, mom, I need your help. And it's really important to me. Do you have a few minutes, right? That would be very normal. And so your mom's going to say, well, what is it? What do you need? And you're just going to say, "Hey, look, I'm launching something that can help me, help me with the kids, or I'm trying to raise money to help send the kids to camp, which was struggling with bills. I'm working 2 jobs, and I'm launching something that would not only help you but help me. And so, can I count on your support?" And more than likely, my dad was one of my first customers in Maryland, and so he was like, just yeah, I said, well, look, I need to get a copy of your bill so I can see if you qualify for what we're doing. He was okay, take it. He was one of my first customers way before Maryland had community solar like it does today. And then you have, do me a favor, Dad, I need a favor. If I can save you some money and it's not going to cost you anything or inconvenience you, and it would be really important to me, would you do me a favor? I really like this one because after 2 years in the business, I had to take this one and go back to all my aunts that didn't sign up with me 2 years ago. So so so
Yeah.
this one does work. And I was really done with my family because I was mad at them after they didn't sign up with me when we first started. But I'll tell you, with in Maryland, this one really helped because now everybody's thinking, okay, well, he's not asking me for money. It won't cost me anything, and it's not an inconvenience because it's about 3 minutes to get signed up. And you would be surprised at the people that will say, "Okay, sure, I'll do it now." These are people that told me no a long time ago. So these scripts are to help you, but don't become a robot. I just want to say that.
Yeah, and the reason for these scripts, guys, is, as Julia said, people will read right into it if you're turning into something you're not. As I like to make Monty laugh, but don't turn into the pasty salesperson, okay? Be yourself. The number one objections we're going to get are,
Mm.
what if my power goes out? And am I going to get another bill? The answer to both of those is no. So that's why we say it doesn't cost you anything. It's not going to inconvenience you, and it's important to me. Will you help me out? So,
Mhm.
it's just be yourself. That's so important in our business, and the objective here is to talk to your warm market. If you go through your warm market, we're going to talk about this.
Yeah,
Oh, this
because
is yeah. Go ahead, Julius. This one's
you
you.
know, I, community solar is such a huge value. Like, the value is so big, right? That sometimes we get excited. And I say, this script is a really good script to help you share community solar. And I modified a little bit. I'll say, hey, are you taking advantage of the Maryland State discount program that they're offering for a limited time? And they're like, well, what are you talking about? Well, get a copy of your bill and let me see what you qualify for, because in Annapolis, they passed a bill for savings. And right now, with all the increases in Maryland, let's just take a minute and take a look at it and see what you qualify for. And people are literally going to get their bill. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I've been getting a lot of responses off of Facebook and just talking to people because people are like, okay, and I just send them. I tell them, look, put in your zip code here and see what you qualify for, and tell me what it is,
Yep.
and they'll go there and do that. And then the other one is that, hey, friend, I just finished my training course, and now I'm a certified energy advisor. I am now authorized in the state of Maryland to save people money on their electric bill. Would you let me do a free analysis because my goal is to do 20 today? Would you be one of my 20 to do the analysis? Now I changed it a little bit because I give people a number. Hey, look, I need to do 20 analysis today. Would you be one of my 20? Right. And so when you do the analysis, you come back, and I found that when you put a number on it, people actually, they're like, okay, well, you're gonna do the analysis, and they said, what do I need to do? I was like, oh, just get a copy of your bill and let me do the analysis, and I can check off that you were one of them. And then you do the analysis, and you're gonna say you could actually save 10% for the next 25 years in Maryland. Is that something you would
Yep.
like to do?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. And with community solar, with the consolidated billing, it's such a blessing. I'm telling you, there's so many people up in arms about their energy bills. People's bills are more than their mortgage payment right now. So, our mission is to help a lot of people. So go out with that mindset. And, when you're talking to strangers, it's okay to say, I'm a certified energy advisor. It gives you credibility. So, just again, none of these need to be verbatim. And the worst thing you can do is try reading it to somebody. That's a total disaster. So just be yourself, and it'll come second nature once you get going. I promise you. And when you're enrolling customers, you want to get the yes, right? So I always say that I don't push people for anything, but I'll be a little more pressing to be a customer because I know I'm helping them. So when you have that belief level, people feel it, right? So I'm asking Julius to be my customer. He's a little standoffish, and I could be like, Julius, do you trust me? Of course I trust you.
Yes, I
Then
trust you, Kirk.
yeah, just do me a favor and try it, will you please? You know, if anything, if you have any issues, I will get it canceled or taken care of. But I know you're not going to, so just trust me on that. And wait for the yes. And Julius gives me the yes. I stop for a minute, and if he says, well, and if he's given up any kind of resistance, first of all, I'm gonna, again, kind of repeat myself. As I said, Julius, it won't cost you anything. It won't inconvenience you, and you will save money. It means a lot to me. So will you help me out? And he says yes to that. Finally, I get the yes. After the yes, you can share with them in some cases that you started the business. All right, pause for a minute. They might. This happens a lot, guys. I'm telling you, this happens a lot. Um, Before you hit submit on that button, you could even ask them yourself, Julius, before I submit this, you saw how easy it was. Do you want to make money like I am, or do you just want to save money? It's a great line to use because a lot of people are looking to make some money, but they think that this is like all this crazy training and it's really fill in the blank stuff here, right? When you pull up your customer enrollment site, you're entering a zip code, you're filling in the blanks. If there's something you don't know where to find it, if you don't know, every space has a little like question mark where to find, or a little question right next to the space where to find that. So you can click on that and it'll show you on an actual bill where to find that information. So anyways, it's fill in the blank. I always say a 5-year-old could do it if they knew what information they needed. So before you actually submit, wait and after you tell them you started this business, they might want to be an energy advisor as well. Um, and then if they ask you, tell me more about the business side of it, you show them that 9-minute video. Don't sit there and explain, well, we get $20 for an autosave customer. We get up to $120 for a 3-year term in Texas. Don't throw up all over them. Just show them the video. Use the tools. That's what we have. If they want to understand autosave, play the autosave video. If they want to understand community solar, play the community solar video. We have a tool for everything, so you don't have to explain it. And the beauty of that is the rejection of I don't have time to learn everything isn't even on the table because you're just showing videos. You don't need to learn anything. All
And
right?
and just real quick, guys, just to know that your goal here is to master this for yourself, so that you can give it to a team member to duplicate without you. And what I
Right.
mean is that could you use more sophisticated words? Could you use bigger terms? Could you make it prettier or whatever? Yes, but it is truly not about what innovates. It's about what duplicates. And for somebody who's an innovator, I want you to understand is that my mentor said to me, he says, you want to walk into a room one day with 1,000 people in there at a meeting, and you go back and sit in the last row. Nobody knows who you are, and it's your whole team. And if you teach them fundamentals on how to get customers by themselves, and you show them these fundamental steps, the level of duplication is insane. And so remember, as you're learning this and as you're teaching it, your goal is to help somebody duplicate the moment they get into the business so they can go build a business if you're there or not. And so this slide here is that I still got on my phone. I do a digital vision board. We do it every year, but your why is really the driver for how you talk to people, right? If your friends know that you're working to get out of debt, or you just got laid off and you're trying to find ways to earn additional income, and you call them, hey, I need a favor. And look, I don't need you to loan me any money, but I want you to. I just joined a
Mhm.
company, and I'm helping people save. And what I want you to do is I want you to just help me out by letting me do a free analysis for you. Your
Right.
why is the driver to the conversation and to the script.
And you can start off with you can start off with your why. Sometimes it's impactful. Julius, listen, I just started this side business, this part-time business, and I'm helping people save money. I have to get out of my job. I can't take it anymore. Would you do me a favor and support me and be my customer? So you can start off with the why, or you can end with the why. There's nothing set in stone here. But all of these obviously are good reasons. Kids' college tuition, fire your boss, more time with your family. I don't know how many of you've heard it, but I've been sharing a little more information. And when you're working two, three jobs like I was, and I say to my wife, "Is everything okay?" And she says, "Well, we've learned to live without you," meaning I'm working all the time. She's raising the kids. You want to talk about rip your heart out, that's a motivator for sure. So all of these things you see on here, financial freedom, by the way, is not making millions. It's you take all your monthly expenses and add them up, and that's your goal. That's your financial freedom number. It could be 1,000, it could be 2,000, it could be 10,000, whatever that is. That's your goal for financial freedom, and that's enough recurring residual income coming into your bank account every month to cover all your expenses. So your job or your business, your self-employed or whatever the case may be, that is now your savings. That is your money to do other things. It's a beautiful thing. So help them sign up, walk them through the process. Again, it's very simple stuff, but our job is to, I don't know if you want to unmute John. I think he's got something to say. Walk them through the process. And, we're not allowed to complete the enrollment for them. You can walk them through it, you can be there with them, but we're in the deregulated markets, but it's still highly regulated, and we need to protect the golden egg, which is our company, and we need people to do things the right way. So, be sure that you're not enrolling them. I know you want to make it simple for them, but it could get you suspended or terminated because you're putting our company at risk. Um, all
Hey,
right.
John, go ahead
So,
and unmute.
Yeah, that
and
was a
explain.
mistake, guys. I didn't really want to.
Oh, okay.
I didn't. That was
All right.
just a mistake of raising the hand. You guys are doing a great job, and I'm I'm actually. As soon as I get off this, I got to go put in like four more customers. So
Good job, John.
Good job, John. Look, I'm
yes,
proud of you, man.
yes, thank
So,
you, Julius.
and this is really important because the customer can opt for email or text. Some people they have to have an email no matter what. Okay, so
Hmm.
there's people that say they don't have an email. Well, help them create one. It's very quick to do, anyways. But you can't enroll a customer without an email. But for their confirmation, they either confirm an email or a text, and make sure they do that because you can go through the entire process, and if they don't confirm, it's all for nothing. Okay, and then this is really important. Anyone that's over the age of 75, um, they will receive a phone call verification from Think because the company has a mission to protect seniors, make sure they're not being taken advantage of. So if they're over 75, make sure you let them know that, okay? This is important because with all the things we have, it's a set it and forget it situation, right? We are not we don't have to follow up with our customers once a year or every 3 years outside of Texas and get them renewed. Or there's market the outside the autosave markets, you do have to make sure your customers are renewed. So, if they're in a market where they have to renew, send them a thank you card and remind them of the renewal. But if they're in an autosave market, just send them a thank you card, handwritten thank you card once a year because they probably forgot they're even your customer and just let them know you care. And they're going to continue to be loyal and they're a long term customer for life. People rarely receive any kind of mail these days. So, what powerful thing giving them a handwritten thank you card and referrals. So, we had a couple people on as guests last Sunday on a training talking about how many customers they get through referrals. So I signed Julius up and he's thankful. This is going to be very helpful for me. I said, Julius, I appreciate you being my customer. Is there anybody that comes to mind that you think I should help? Can you give me 5 or 10 names and get those referrals? And then, ask Julius, is it okay if I tell these people that you referred me to them because you want me to help them too? And Julius is going to say yes because I just helped them, right? Remind them that there's no cost for being a customer. Nothing we offer costs money, okay? So, well, I love that. Don't cost you anything and it's going to save you money. Do me a favor and help me out. Try the service. This is a good one. People do business with you. Do you do business with people who do business with you? You may or may not have heard me tell the story, but this is a real story. I used to own a 3 unit rental property, and I paid a landscaper to take care of the property. And I'll just say his name's Julius for now because I really don't remember his name, but he was my landscaper for a couple years, and then I got into the energy business. And one day I was going to pay him, and I would pay him whatever it was, $100 a week. I don't remember now, but we'll just say it was $100 a week. So I'm handing Julius his cash, and I said, Julius, can I ask you something? He goes, sure. How long have I been your customer? Do you know? Yeah, I think it's 2 years. I always paid you as soon as the work is done, right? Yeah, yeah. Is there a problem? No, there's no problem. I'm wondering if you can help me out. I just started my own business, and I like to do business with people who do business with who I do business with. I want people to do business with me who I do business with. I'm wondering if you would do me a favor and be my customer. What is it? I can save you money on your electricity bill. Will you do me a favor and try it? And he said, nope, I'm done. No, I go, what do you mean? No, you don't even know what it is. He goes, no, I'm good. I said, Julius, listen. I said, I'm asking you, but I am not really asking you, okay? It's important to me. And I pay you every week, and this is free. I'm not asking you for any money. I'm just asking you to support me and be my customer. Nope. I said, all right, Julius, this is it. I said, if you're not going to support me, you're done. He goes, you're kidding, right? I go, nope. If you won't be my customer, don't show up on Monday. And I fired him. I really fired him. But here's the good news. The next landscaper, not only did he become a customer, he became an energy advisor first. Then he made himself his own customer and he fast tracked to the first rank in the company, regional energy advisor. So, sometimes it pays off because why should you support somebody's business if they're not this is business, guys. This is not a hobby, this is not a gimmick, this is business. And if you treat it like a business, it'll pay you that way. So be confident in what you're saying. And we even have people do three-way calls. There's nothing wrong with that. They might have a question, how's this autosave thing work? Well, I played Julius the video and he still wasn't getting it. Kirk, can you help me out? Sure. And then the three-way call, that person maybe can break it down a little better, how community solar works or how autosave works or, our battery program's going to work, whatever. But there's nothing wrong with doing a three-way call for a customer either. Anything to add there, Julius?
No, I just think it is, and even when you're talking to people about being customers, you gotta have some. I think the level of confidence and posture matters, right? And as you're talking to people, even if you don't know what to do in the beginning, I think it's very important that you make sure that you use a script, and you use the basic things, and then get a leader on a call. Today, folks got me on a call just to talk to you about customers, and they signed up but they also are listening and learning through that process. And some of the things to know, like when you're enrolling a customer, I think one of the things to do first when you get in the business, make sure you know your website. So many new energy advisors don't know their website to get to sign up a customer. Be prepared. Have your website. Have a flyer and be prepared there. Understand that residential and small commercial electric customers, we can enroll up to 500,000 kilowatts a year. Auto save residential and small commercial. non-demand up to 100,000 kilowatts a year. To just take a picture of this slide. So these are this training is to help you so that when you get somebody's bill, you can look and then community solar, residential, small commercial, non-demand in the same market. So this allows you to understand the foundation of your products, and then the product comparison guide is where you can actually see every state. Okay, and that is an incredible tool. I advise everybody print that off on the first of every month
Let
and
me
have.
interrupt you there for a minute, Julius, if you don't
Good.
mind. So this is important in the markets outside of the autosave market, and it's important for community solar because, you know, the way community solar works, guys, is sometimes we run out of inventory. So you can go to that product comparison guide, and in there it tells you which markets have inventory. An example being, right now, I mean, you'll see on our map that Colorado and Minnesota are community solar markets, but we currently don't have any inventory there. So you would know that going to the product comparison guide. All right, so that's really important. And then with the large commercial, this commercial widget is in your back office on your homepage. You scroll down, you'll see that commercial. We are not enrolling large commercial accounts, okay? We are simply submitting them for our commercial team at Think Energy's going to analyze their bill, and they're going to negotiate with that customer, and then they'll make a decision whether or not they like the rate that Think Energy's commercial team is offering. And if they like it, you get the credit for it. If they don't, there's no harm, no foul because you're not signing them up for something. You're simply submitting it and letting the company do the work for you. I actually love this. That you can just submit these and let a commercial team that's been doing
Yeah.
this for years handle all the heavy lifting for you. There you go,
And
Jules.
so some of our so sharing the business is one of the most powerful things you can do. I'm going to give you guys a tip right now. The BAM app allows you to share videos, every one of the videos, and you can also have the links to them. But what I want to encourage you is that when you are talking to people in the morning, even when you're setting up times to talk to people, I'm going to share just a process for you. A lot of people, yes, you need to build a list, but I'm going to challenge you. Just take your cell phone, go to your contacts, and send this small message to people. Um, hey, something important I need to talk to you about. When can I get 10 minutes? At 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock? Hey, something important I need to talk to you about. When can I? And you know your schedule, whatever your schedule is, right? You may know, hey, I only have an hour for lunch. Hey, I need to talk to you about something important. When can I talk to you between 1 and 2? And you do that to just go down your phone list in your phone, and when somebody says, "Hey, I can talk at 1," or "I can talk now," when I call them, I'm already gonna because BAM actually connects to all the contacts in your phone. As soon as I have them on the phone, I'm just gonna shoot them a text and say, "Hey, look, I just shot you something. I want you to take a look at it for me." Now, you can use your scripts. Do me a favor. You can use your scripts.
Oh, where'd you go, Julius? You fell off on me. So yeah, you can ask for user scripts, and you can send people that. I'll tell you a story that just happened with me. Is a friend of mine in Texas. I knew he was building a new house, and I sent him the battery video, and it said, "Let me know if this is something that you might be interested in." And he sent me an audio clip. He goes, "Kirk, I need to speak to the CEO or the founders of this company. This is amazing. This could be huge in network marketing." And I've been a top network marketing for better than 99% of the people in the country. And I'm like, holy cow, I didn't expect any of that. So use your tools. The most beautiful thing here is that you don't have to explain any of these things. These videos do the work for you. And then we also have these flyers. These are custom to you. When you print these out of your back office, it automatically inserts your link. Obviously, make sure your link's on there. These are some more tools that you can use. I don't use this stuff myself, but if you're at a home show or you're doing some kind of event, you want to have materials out for people to take. People like to have something to look at. Also, when people say, let me do some research, well, here's a flyer. Instead of being combative, say, here's a flyer. If it's okay with you, I'll follow up with you, but here's a start on doing your research and hand them your flyer. Okay? So use the tools we have. And if you're brand new, your sponsor should go through where you can find all this stuff. The BAM app, there's instructions on how to download that. So that's not what we're doing tonight. Gathering autosave customers, show the 1 minute video. Make sure this is very, very, very important. So the way autosave works, I'm not going to break it all down for you, but if they're with another third party supplier, it is highly recommended that they cancel with that other third party supplier. And the quickest way to make sure that they cancel is to call the utility company. Have the utility cancel them with that supplier and let them know that you're enrolling in autosave with Think Energy. All right? So, the reason being is the way autosave works. Remember, this technology moves the customer onto Think when Think can save them money and back to the utility when it can't. But it can't see if they're with another supplier. And the reason this is important is if Think Energy is not saving them money and they're with the utility, you sign them up with autosave and they're with think they're with the utility and they're still with their third party supplier, they're going to roll into that supplier's variable rate and then they're going to be mad at you. So it's the best practice to have them cancel with that supplier. You can still sign them up for autosave on the spot, but it's make sure you keep track and make sure that they do that. Very, very important. Use the
Yeah,
form
one of the things, Kirk,
Go ahead.
remember at our leadership conference, they gave us these little cards, and I'll make a picture of this, but it says stop, drop, and roll, right? So if you don't know what to do, you stop, analyze the bill, make sure they drop from the third party, their third party, and then enroll them into Think. So stop, drop, and enroll. They gave out some cards at our leadership conference, and I'll make sure we post this somewhere in the Facebook group.
Yep, yep. And these are some of the bullet points that you should know and the video talks about. So you don't necessarily need to say them, but it's good to, be prepared. Guaranteed savings when your supply is with Think Energy, no cap. And remember this, because I think people forget about this. Julius and I can live right next door to each other. We can both be on Think Energy. All right. But the way autosave works is, he might be a better user than I am, more efficient with his electricity. So he's getting a bigger discount. He might be saving 20% and I'm only saving 5%. Even though we're both with autosave, we could be paying a different price. Most likely, we're paying a different price when we're with autosave. So remember that there's no cap on it, believe it or not. I mean, I know that we've seen as high as 20%, but there's no cap on how much they can save on autosave. Guaranteed to never pay more than the utility. Jonathan Gibbs, can you mute yourself, please? No
I got it.
renewals. Sign up once, let us do the work. That's it. Cancel anytime. All of these things people want to hear. All right. They don't want to have to worry about it. They don't want to get hurt. So make sure they watch that video and emphasize these bullet points. And then there's an autosave fact sheet and Think Success as well. So in the state of Texas, now we're getting into the great state of Texas, the sixth largest energy market in the world, largest energy market in the United States. We have a diverse suite of options. We have a 1 year and a 3 year term. That's it. And then I guess there is everything's 1 and 3 year. So that is all you need to know. All right. But here's something that nobody else offers. This is a highlight that if you're in Texas, this is something you want to definitely make sure you highlight when market prices go up. So let's say they signed up for our current 1 year or 3 year term and the price goes down. With our company, that customer can call customer care and say, I'd like to take advantage of the rate buy down program. It's $29.95. They can do that twice a year and move into a lower rate. So they're protected from going up, but they have a way to go down through this process. Nobody else offers that. That is incredible. If they connect their smart thermostat, Wi-Fi connected smart thermostats, all right? Residio, Ecobee, and Honeywell. That's the brands that we communicate with. Must be Wi-Fi compatible. They get a $10 a month bill credit with Think Smart. Again, nobody else offers that I know of. Maybe they do, but we offer it. It's a benefit that we offer. And also 100% clean energy, budget friendly. We have budget billing in Texas. And then every customer, if they pay their bill on time in full for 6 months, can call customer care and get this $100 Visa gift card. Okay. It is not just sent, so make sure your customers know that. There's no secret about it. It is real, but it's not just sent to the customer. They got to call in. So some quick little tricks of the trade in Texas, and this is just some bullet points. Let's take a look at your bill so we can do a savings analysis for you. All right. So in Texas, Think Energy actually does their own billing. Every retailer has their own billing in Texas, okay? So Texans are already used to that. They know that. So the reason you want to do a savings analysis is you want to make sure that you're not hurting them, you're helping them, right? Because there's different options in Texas. You want to make sure that you're doing the right thing. And if they're in a contract with another company, you need to find out what their cancellation fee is. So in that savings analysis, it needs to make sense if they have a cancellation fee, that signing up on our rates is going to absorb that cancellation fee from the other company, or find out when they're coming to the end of their term. So Texas is a much more detailed. This is not the other markets. This is Texas only. Look for the average price paid for electricity on the bill. Think Energy residential rates include base charge, energy charge, and TDU charge, which is the delivery charge. Residential, compare the average price paid to Think Energy's total rate on the electricity facts label. That's in the details underneath the rate. Commercial, compare the energy charge on the bill to the Think Energy charge on the electricity facts label. So all of that is very important. Give me 1 second. I might have to find my friend Julius and see if I have to let him back in. No,
Oh no,
you're
I'm
This
here.
is
I'm
Lynette.
here.
I
I'm right
had a
here. Hey,
oh,
Lynette.
question. Hey,
go ahead.
Julius and Kirk, I had a quick question. I have a client that I just did a analysis for,
Hmm.
and they have the rooftop solar.
Yep.
The question is, if he has a smart thermostat, does he still get the $10 credit?
Um, are we still servicing rooftop solar in Texas? Does that come up as an option?
It does.
So it'll
Hmm.
say in the details, if they get the. I think the answer is yes, but I'd have to look myself, Lynette. But if you look at the details underneath that
I
product,
did look at the fact, but I'll go read it and go down even further. It said, I don't know.
if it doesn't say, then the answer is no, because
Okay.
because the products that do qualify with the smart thermostat say that. Okay.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's a good question though. I didn't know. That's a good question though, because with folks that had another person with solar, rooftop solar, and tried to find out, and it wasn't clear if it was there. So we should probably just verify it, or even have it as a they can't have it
Yeah,
in the
we'll be
details.
ready for
Yeah,
that next time for sure. It's a good
yeah.
question because there's a lot of people that do have rooftop solar in Texas. The guys, remember this is Texas only. It's a little more detailed. So if you're wondering why they're getting $70 and $120, it's a little more work. It's not as simple. So, if you have a contract, a valid date, see the green arrow, you want to know
Hmm.
when their contract's going to end. You see above that white box the average price paid for their electricity for the month. So These are things you're looking for. The energy charge, it's based on the kilowatt usage. The energy rate, that's the energy charge is 14 cents. And then the amount they're paying with the base charge. So, all these things, the delivery charge, that's always going to be no matter which company they're with. Some companies have higher base charges, they have different little gimmicks. If it's free nights and weekends, trust me, you can help them. All right, there's nobody saving money with those free nights and weekends. But this is just like a breakdown. Average price paid, base charge plus energy charge. We're not going to spend a lot of time here because this will scare people if you don't understand the Texas market. But the highlights are know when the end of their contract is, know what their early termination fee is, and if they're on budget billing. And we offer budget billing. I don't know who else does.
Mm-hmm.
As the importance of enrolling electricity customers in all of these markets right now is this. This for the first time in our industry, we actually have something tangible to talk about. They can look at it, they can even touch it, they're not going to get hurt. These things, I think they're beautiful. I never thought I'd be saying I think a battery's beautiful, but I do. I think they're beautiful. And, so we have something tangible. So the key to the battery program in all markets is bringing them on as an electricity customer. It's a simple and compelling value proposition. Save on electricity, free backup power for your home. Over 260. Lynette's got another question if you want to unmute her. Over 260 times the power's gone out in Texas since 2019. No cost to install. Go ahead, Lynette. You can unmute, or is that an accident? Are you trigger happy? Anyways, yeah. So that we haven't really even been trained on these batteries yet. They're going to start doing trainings here probably towards the end of the month, but this is very exciting. But nobody gets a battery unless they're a Think Energy customer. So right now, I'm encouraging everybody. Think about this. They already kind of gave us the concept of compensation on these batteries. Now, here's my chain of thought. I'm blown away by the fact that we're getting compensated for something that we're installing for free. Okay? So that blows my mind in itself. This is Time Magazine Invention of the Year. And what gives it a lot of validity is, Costco, Lowe's, Amazon, Sam's Club, REI, Home Depot, they don't just let anybody into their stores. They're highly vetted and they have EcoFlow in their stores. If you want to go buy one, go buy one. Guess what? They're probably $5, $10, $20,000 systems. We're installing them in homes at no cost to the customer. So there's no catch on that. What is the customer going to get? They're going to get a locked-in low rate for 5-year increments in Texas. Outside of Texas, I believe it's going to be 15 years fully with a discounted rate, and they have backup power. So it's exciting to know what we're offering, and this is putting us on the map. This is what this battery program is what is going to disrupt the energy industry, because we're going to be able to do things that nobody else can do. So that's why we're excited about it.
And Kirk, I just wanted to share we haven't talked about it a lot, but the battery and the software that we're going to be installing on the battery will allow us to literally create an ecosystem of connected devices. So we don't know what the future holds, but this is the beginning of us being able to connect to all the devices in a home and be able to manage them. So you're talking about customers today that you go start with a battery, but tomorrow maybe other devices. We already are doing the thermostat as well, maybe car chargers and other things, but it allows us to have that connectivity. And so, the next question that everybody should know, and I do think you should know this: when do you get paid? And that's a super important part, because many times I have people that call me and say, "Hey, look, I didn't get my check. How do I get to my money?" And so this is a slide that we put in. Every Friday, you get customer acquisition bonuses. So everything you do up until Friday midnight is paid the following Friday. Everything that is activated by the previous Friday at midnight. And so the key is that you can make your pay predictable, right? So we know that it takes sometimes 3 to 7 days for customers to go in. We know community solar can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months, right? But we get paid when that customer comes into the system and goes pending. So you can predict your weekly money, right? You can get really close to it. And so customer acquisition bonuses paid on Fridays, the week after the customer reaches payable status, and then monthly on the third Friday of each month, residuals and rank advancement bonuses are paid to you. And if you know through your My Pay Quicker email will be sent to you from My Pay Quicker that will allow you to set up your account, and that once you earn your first $15 or more. So this is something to know. If you didn't know that, go ahead and take a picture so you know, and you can put that on your calendar so you know to check every Friday and every third Friday.
Let me add to that because we get this question a lot about, you know, tax ID numbers, EIN numbers, social security numbers. If you didn't notice, none of that was asked of you when you enrolled as an energy advisor. You put that into your My Pay Quicker. You know, none of that is asked when somebody enrolls. So I want to point that out. You enter that when you set up your My Pay Quicker account, which you'll receive that email about. And then the other thing I did want to touch on, because it's pretty exciting that we don't talk about it enough, is with autosave and community solar, as soon as that customer goes active, it's a good customer, you immediately start getting residual income on those accounts the next month. And I say that because in the other like the New England markets, you don't start getting residual income on that customer until Think Energy actually shows up on their bill. So that's huge. That's huge for all of us. You're immediately building up a residual income. So a lot of exciting things with that. And then here's the links. Take a picture of this as well. This is our Facebook page, the company Facebook page, Telegram page, YouTube channel, Vimeo, team documents, all of these resources. Click on them, check them out. You're not going to hurt anything. There's lots of tools. There's a memory jogger in this Think Big documents. When you're sitting down with your new energy advisor, it's funny. Some people want to make a customer list. Some people want to make an energy advisor list. Everybody should be an energy advisor first, and then you segue into the customer, unless it's an elderly person that straight up is not going to go out and make phone calls and call people. But the biggest mistake people make in our business is you prejudge people. You think you know who will or who won't do this, and if you think you do, you will make millions because you know something nobody else knows. There's no way of knowing. It's the most equal playing field you'll ever play on. Doesn't matter race, gender, education, whatever your walk of life. I mean, we have successful people. We have 18-year-old kids just out of school. Everything in between. There's no judging what your background is. Certainly in some states a background check is required, but even that doesn't prevent you from doing the business. You just can't enroll customers in those markets. Just so you know, okay? And that will conclude our customer gathering training. I apologize for it going long. We started a little late. We did not get to promote this because everybody's been so busy. We appreciate everybody getting on. If you have some, if you want to type a question in the chat box, that's probably the best way. We can answer your questions. But anyways, we appreciate everybody getting on there. Hopefully it's helping you. We're going to make sure it becomes more repetition. We'll get smoother with what we're doing, but we started late simply because we hadn't promoted it, and there was only 16 people on when we started. So
I see some hands up. I want to.
Yeah,
I think
let's
there's
do
a
it,
phone
Jules.
number. I see a phone number 845. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Hit F. Go ahead and unmute.
Julius, when it's a phone number, they can't unmute once they're muted.
Hello?
Oh, there you go.
Hello?
There you go.
Oh, they
Yes.
are.
Can you hear
Oh,
me?
they on WhatsApp.
Yeah, say your name, please.
My name is Jeff Kraus.
Yep. How are you?
Okay, good. How are you? That
Good.
was a
What?
wonderful training. Thank you so much. My
Yep.
question was in regards to a Texas market. Just recently got a Texas advisor, and he told me that in Texas, a lot of people have the night free program. So even though they pay a little bit higher than what a thing could offer, but they had a night free program. So can you give me like a little guidance on that, how to do analysis on that side?
Yeah. Well, in most cases, it sounds like a good deal, but it's not a good deal. And without looking at it, I can't really say. But you definitely need to understand the Texas market. You go to the electricity fax label is the most confident way I can tell you that I know what they're paying and I know what we're offering. Listen, in Texas, you will find some people, especially people who were on a 5-year contract before, we launched our new program in Texas that might be paying lower than what we're currently offering. So, and that's okay. You keep them on your list and you follow up with them later. You find out when they're coming to the end of their term because at the end of their term, I can promise you, they're most likely not going to pay less with anybody outside of us. I'm pretty confident with that. So it's hard to answer the question without seeing the bill, but the most important thing is to look at the electricity fax label. Don't look at any of the gimmicks because they are gimmicks. I promise you. Just cut and dry. It'll show you. Remember, it said the average price they're paying? If that average price is higher than our average price, they're paying more money. Okay?
It is. The average price is much higher, but he says that because he has the night free and he's charging his car at night, then he will need to pay for us when we will take over his bill. Then so it might not be worth it. So like
Well,
I want to
that's a
hear from you
unique
if you have to.
situation. Yeah, that's a unique
Mhm.
situation. I wouldn't want to, fully comment on that without having all the details. Like I said, Texas
Got
is
it.
a
Yeah.
market you need to know what you're looking at for sure. So, but that's a good question.
Yeah.
Get back with your leadership,
Yeah.
whoever that is,
Hmm.
and we'll figure it out for you. But in the meantime, you
Hmm.
leave them where they're at until you know. The one thing I'm glad you asked this question actually because guys, we are in business to help people, and if we can't help them, don't sign them up. Do not do it. I mean, we want to build this business with integrity, and if we can't help them with what their situation is, then leave them and follow up with them. Okay. Do we
Yeah.
have another question? Do we have another one?
I saw Karen Kennard's hand up. Um,
The
hey,
chat is
Karen, you
disabled. You can't put anything in the chat. So I was going
okay.
to ask if you could put the slide back up. I
Which
was
slide do
trying
you want, Karen?
the last one with all the websites. I needed the last website that was on there.
There you go. Can you see that?
Yep, that one. Thank you.
I have a question also. This is Tasha in Maryland. Do we have to pay taxes on our bonus money?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay.
It's a 1099 business.
Yep.
There's no taxes taken out when throughout the year. It's like any other business, you do have to pay your taxes for sure. Whatever state, I don't know if that's federal or state. I think there's something about
So
600
yeah, and
bucks. Go ahead, Julius.
yeah. So what Tasha, what I would say is that um, again for this training, we are not tax professionals, but I will say that you should track all of your expenses when it comes to like going to meetings and everything related to your business, and then work with a tax professional to file all of your expenses against your business. You get all the benefits though of owning a business in Maryland in the United States. So get somebody that can help you kind of walk through that and but you will have to pay taxes on it if but a tax professional can definitely help you.
Yeah, it's a huge advantage. Here's what I tell people to do. Just Google the tax benefits of a home-based business, and you'll be very happy with what you read.
At what point in time would I have to do the 1099?
Well,
They send it.
We'll send
Yeah,
it to
just
you.
like your
Yeah, they'll
W-2.
send it
They
to
send
you
it at the end of the year. Yep.
end of the year. Yeah.
Yep. Good question, though. I mean, it's something a lot of people don't ask. So, it's a great question, actually.
Can I make a suggestion based on, because I'm a 1099 for my two other businesses?
Sure.
Don't wait until the end of the year to do your taxes. Do it quarterly.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
saying.
Yeah.
I waited and I'm upside down with my taxes because I was waiting for the 1099 to come in.
Mm-hmm.
So I work for a broker and I booth rent. So both of my jobs, I'm 1099, and I thought I was doing everything right.
Mm-hmm.
I got behind. So my recommendation is meet with a tax professional quarterly and let them know what you're doing and let them get the information for you so that you can prepare financially for it, because it can be a bummer when you go to do your taxes. So,
Right. Yeah.
so do it quarterly and then you're paying on it, and then you can budget for it. And then it helps you set your goal for what you need to do for your business.
Yep. And
It kind of helps drive you.
I don't
Yep.
I'm filling out a W-9. That's what I'm confused about.
Yeah. So you're filling out the W-9 when you log into Pay Quicker, so that it's identifying you as what type of business unit you're going to be. So what I'm going to say is that, because I don't want to get into opinions around taxes and stuff. So you fill out the W-9, and that's going to identify who you are as either a business entity or a sole proprietor, and that's what Pay Quicker requires. And then at the end of the year, just like you would do a W-4 when you start a job, right? You have to fill out a W-4. And you would get a W-2 at the end of the year. It's just on the business side. But I do want to let you know there's tons of benefits to being a 1099. I've been a 1099 in different aspects for almost 25 years. So what I would say is just meet with a tax professional, help them set up your structure. But if you go off and you build a very successful think business, it's good problems to have. I'll just say that. So get with
especially if
somebody
you
to
have a
help.
W-2 job. If you have a W-2 job and you have a 1099, it's a huge
Yes.
benefit. But, again, you don't necessarily have to worry about it right out of the gate. Wait until you start making some money. Once you make over your $600 or whatever, I think that's the threshold, I think.
It is.
I don't even know, but let's say it's $600. Again, we're not tax professionals. I really don't want to get into that in too much depth right now.
Just go
is
make a
the-
whole lot of money, and you'll have a whole lot of money type problems.
That's right. That's right. But that's it, guys. I gotta hop
All
onto
right,
another
guys.
Zoom, believe it or not. But
Me
thank
too.
you all for getting on. Julius, I love
All
you,
right.
brother. Appreciate
You
you.
too, man.
Lynette, thank you for your input as well. And Karen and Tasha and Elizabeth, thank you. Everybody have a great night.
Have a great night, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Buddy.